The following program contains explicit candor. If you suffer from self-deception, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your political advisor.
This is show number 399. 399, baby.
Standing for truth in the four corners of America. Fighting for justice on the frontiers of the culture wars. And turning resistance into an art form. Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're safe. Michelle Obama is using her putty pulpit. That's what I'm going to call it, the putty pulpit. The president's got a bully pulpit. She's got a putty pulpit. Okay, fine, let's just move on. Anyway, she's using her putty pulpit to help us know how to raise our children. And Grand Theft Auto is out. And is there a new Tim Tebow? He's calling himself, or they're calling him the Black Tim Tebow. We're going to check it out. Who are these blistering idiots who keep picking dates for Jesus' return? Jesus doesn't even know. Not even I know. Only the Father knows, and he's not talking. Not talking. Welcome to today's program, friend. The president's wife, Michelle, we call our president's wife the First Lady. That actually began, by the way, with a daughter of a president. Did you know that? Grover Cleveland was not married when he was president of the United States, and his daughter helped run the White House, and he nicknamed her the First Lady. The name stuck and became a part of our vernacular, and now it refers to the wife of the president. Well, the First Lady is in the news because she's got her newest agenda, her newest initiative. What do you think it is, people? Health food. Yes, she is on a rampage against ho-hos and the Pillsbury Doughboy. She recently made a public speech in which she praised Disney for banning the commercials of junk food companies. She praised Disney and Birdseye, Nickelodeon, for showing kids eating their vegetables. And she said that her goal was to, quote, empower parents instead of undermining them. I have to say that line again because it's so powerful, and it gives me something to whip up on her a little bit about. Empower parents instead of undermining them as they try to make the best choices for their families. Allow me to point out the ironic. This is the same woman who would have your daughters be able to kill their babies without your knowledge or consent. This is the same woman that would want your sons to be able to get birth control, your daughters to be able to get birth control, so that they could be sexually active with safe sex, again, without your knowledge or your consent. So she doesn't want to undermine you when it comes to the food choices of your children, but she's perfectly content to undermine you when it comes to your child's body and soul, their sexual activity, and perhaps where they spend eternity because of decisions that they make that might involve them turning their back on the laws of God and God himself. So, let's analyze this. You don't have to fear your daughter eating a ho-ho, but you might have to fear her becoming one. Well, a half of one. There's no danger of your child being exposed to the Pillsbury Doughboy, unless, of course, it's in an illicit tryst or tryst, depending on how you pronounce the word. You don't have to fear your little child eating junk food you only have to fear, with Michelle Obama's guidance, your child getting birth control, and then, if and when it fails, killing their baby. So, your child might end up having an STD following the advice of Michelle Obama, but don't worry. At least your child will eat their broccoli with their STD. I've got to take a break. Here's the bottom line, people. Michelle Obama's ethics are twisted. They are, on some levels, perverted. Michelle Obama is what we call ethically impaired. She strains at a gnat and swallows a camel. She is rightly worried about the food chain, what children are eating, the impact that it's having on their weight and their health. She's right. But she is woefully misguided in her prioritization of what is right and wrong. And even as she says that she wants to empower parents to make the best decisions for their children's health and their family's future, she is undermining those moms and dads by insisting that their sons and daughters at the tender age of 12 or 14 years old be allowed to be sexually active, have unthinkable chemicals put into their bodies, and then if those chemicals fail, Michelle doesn't want your child punished with a ho-ho and doesn't want your child punished with a baby either. So while they're eating their broccoli snack, she'll help take them to an abortion mill to kill their child. God save us from this First Lady. Every day in America, over 3,500 babies are torn apart by abortion. Shouldn't all babies, like this living, unborn child, have the right to life? Baby killing will only end when Americans see the truth of what abortion does to innocent children. You can help end this Holocaust by showing the truth of abortion in your area with a Face the Truth tour. Go to facethetruthamerica.com to set up a Face the Truth tour in your area. The babies and their mothers will be eternally grateful. How would you like to be able to reach hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of potential customers with your product or your company or your web-based business? Well, you can do that right here on this show. Every single day, we get phone calls or letters or orders online from states all over the country where people are watching this television show. Right now, we are seen in 45 cities at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time every night, and then a rerun again at 12:30 midnight. You can reach them using this show at advertising rates that are so inexpensive, it would blow your mind. So, if you're interested, contact us at the phone number that you see on the screen or the email address, and we can talk about how you can grow your business and help support this show. The flame of Christian ethics is still our best guide. Only on this basis can we reconcile the rights of the individual with the demands of society. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. As analysts and commentators assess what happened at the Washington Navy Yard and what possessed the mind of Aaron Alexis, what drugs was he on, who knew what about his psychological condition, why wasn't his secret clearance pulled, and, oh yes, what games did he play? Well, Rockstar Games might just have their new spokesman. How would you like to be famous and be connected to Grand Theft Auto 5? Yes, it turns out that Alexis was perhaps addicted to Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, in case you don't know, is a video game. You better find out if your kids are watching it and playing it. It's a video game with unthinkable, gratuitous violence. When I say unthinkable, gratuitous violence, I mean just that, okay? And you can do your own research. You'll see that I'm probably understating how bad it is. Well, Rockstar Games has come out with Grand Theft Auto 5. They had a team of developers, over 250 developers, working for, I don't know, a couple of years. They spent $137 million developing Grand Theft Auto 5, and in its first 2 days of sales, if the media reports are true, it sold $800 million worth of these games. $800 million worth of in sales for a game that is rampant with murder, with theft, unthinkable abuse of innocent people. And that was one of the favorite games, if not the favorite game, for Aaron Alexis to play. So, the only question is, are the kids that are watching and playing Grand Theft Auto, are they eating their broccoli? Are they eating healthy food? Because after all, as long as they're able to get their birth control with Michelle Obama's help and get a violent game like Grand Theft Auto 5 from Rockstar Games, they can be well-adjusted young people, grow up physically fit and trim, maybe be able to sneak onto a military base and, all right, I'll stop the joke because it's so disgusting. Friend, 2 quick things. Number 1, find out what your kids are watching. Find out what games they're playing. But I'm going to go a step further, all right? I confess our children have a Wii. It's a game. It was given to us by friends, and it's spelled W-I-I. They play tennis, they bowl, they play bowling, and they have a little gun where they shoot animals on a safari, okay? No humans. They play the Wii, I'm confessing, probably twice a month on average, maybe 3 times a month. We just don't allow them very much time in front of the television to watch TV, to watch movies, or to play silly games. We just don't. So I'm speaking to myself, but I'm telling you, you have to know what it is they're playing. What they were playing last night, the blockbuster, mind-bending game that they were playing. You ready? Parcheesi. Yes, Parcheesi, the game of kings from India. What a great math game. What laughter, what fun. All right, so find out what it is your kids are playing inside your house, but here's the perhaps most important thing. What are they playing at their friend's house? When are your children away from your home with other children unsupervised? What are they playing on the video screen? What are they watching on the TV screen? What are they watching on the neighbor's computer? What are they watching on the neighbor's iPad or other device? This stuff gets in people's heads. It gets in their heads, and it can destroy them from the inside out. So whether your kids are eating broccoli is important, but whether or not they're eating food for their soul that will corrupt them and turn them into a threat to themselves and to others, that's more important. And it's our job as parents to know exactly what is going on and to protect them. Do you want to have knowledge, wisdom, discernment? If so, you have to read good books on theology, history, books that look at the lives of great men and women. So to help you to become a more effective Christian, a better witness for truth, somebody who can engage in productive conversation that exhorts and edifies those that you speak with, we're going to do something crazy. We're offering you these 7 books for a gift of any size. You just pay for the shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift that you can, and we will send them to you. But just to make it a little bit more crazy, I will send you a second copy of my 3 books, autographed. You can give them as a gift to your pastor or to a family member and help extend truth and justice in the world. This is while supplies last. John Quincy Adams said, "The command to propagate the Muslim creed by the sword is always obligatory when it can be made effective. The commands of the prophet may be performed alike by fraud or by force. Welcome back to the program, friend. The spying apparatus of the NSA on U.S. civilians that Edward Snowden rather, brought to our attention, it's going to unfold for years. We need to pray and hope and work towards the restoration of our Fourth and Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution, all right? But you have to understand something here. There are people who are making unthinkable sums of money that are perfectly content for you and I to be spied on because they're involved and they're making money. What exactly am I talking about? Well, for example, Eric Schmidt. He is the executive chairman of Google, all right? And they're probably the giant. They're the big elephant, or the big gorilla in the room. And he said, regarding the spying apparatus of the government, he said, quote, "There's been spying for years. There's been surveillance for years, and so forth. I'm not going to pass judgment on that. It's the nature of our society," close quote. Whoa, Mr. Schmidt. It is not the nature of this society for the U.S. government to be spying on every U.S. citizen who uses a phone, or who uses a cell phone, or who uses a computer. That is not the nature of our society. That's the nature of a communist society. Now, he went on to say something that I found really disturbing. I'm going to read it to you. "The real danger from the publicity about all this is that other countries will begin to put very serious encryption. We use the term balkanization in general to essentially split the internet, and that the internet's going to be much more country specific. That would be a very bad thing, and it would really break the way the internet works. I think that's what I worry about. There's been spying for years. There's been surveillance for years, and so forth. I'm not going to pass judgment on that. That's the nature of our society." Now, are you following what he's saying? Because if you're not, I'm going to make it crystal clear to you. This is about money. In case you don't know, Google spies on all of its users, all right? They take the data. So if you buy a Swiss Army knife for one of your kids for their birthday, and you searched for it on Google, when you use a Google product, ads will pop up for Swiss Army knives and maybe camping gear, things of this nature. They're looking at the buying patterns of the users of Google products to try and sell them more products. So why? So that Google can make more advertising revenue. But Google doesn't just do this on Americans. They do it on people all over the world, okay? So he said, well, what would be really bad, I mean, the spying thing, that's no big deal, but what would be really bad is the balkanization, if the internet was broken up into country segments. And then how could we find out what the people in Great Britain were buying? And how could we find out what the people in France were buying? And how could we find out what the people in Germany were buying? I'm okay with spying on people. I do it to find out what their buying patterns are. I want to make money from it. And if the government wants to spy, I'm okay with that. Just please keep me in the money. This harkens back to another time when there were some really big companies in Germany who had a lot to profit from as Hitler built his war machine and his spying apparatus. I'm not trying to be unkind or to make any connection between Eric Schmidt and Sieg Heil and spying, but I find it repulsive to say that the real problem is that the internet won't work the way we want it to. Spying is no big deal. No, Mr. Schmidt, spying is a huge deal. And if you're a part of it, then you, sir, are an enemy of freedom and an enemy of the way our society, at least, is supposed to work. Go read your Constitution. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. we can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today. Because he cleaves to me in love, I will deliver him. I will protect him because he knows my name. When he calls to me, I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble and will rescue him and honor him. With long life, I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. Welcome back to the program, friend. The new Black Tim Tebow. What a fun story, and God bless this young man, and God bless his mom and his dad. His name is Prince Amukamara. He is a cornerback for the New York Giants. He was their first-round draft pick in 2011. And there are people right now that are calling him the Black Tim Tebow. Why? Well, he did an interview, and he told the folks over at Muscle and Fitness that he never drinks alcohol, and that he is a virgin, and that he is committed to staying celibate until he gets married. In fact, he said, I told my fiance that I'll probably take my first drink at my bachelor party. I still haven't had a drink. I'll have my first drink at my bachelor party. I grew up Catholic, so it just started out as one of those things. I'd think, if I do this, maybe I can get to heaven. So I said no to drinks, no to sex, all the big things. Now, those of you who are appalled, well, he can't work his way to heaven, set that aside for a minute, okay? The essence of this, the beauty of this, is that he said, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say publicly, I'm not embarrassed to say publicly that I'm still a virgin, that I'm waiting for my fiance and I to get married before we have sex. That's wonderful. What a blast. I mean, this is somebody who could be a role model for people. And we have to ask ourselves, do we cringe when we hear someone say that? Are we embarrassed? I hope not. I mean, there are a lot of worse role models. There are some really bad role models in the sports industry, in the sports field, committing horrific crimes, violent crimes, men who are misogynists, who really literally hate and use women. This young man has given us a great moment to talk to our sons and to our daughters, and to talk to people at the water cooler. I mean, think of how many people you've met over the years who have had addictions to various substances or who have all but ruined their lives because of illicit sexual relations. How many of them stand up and testify, big broad grin on their face? I just want to say thanks. They won't look up to heaven, they would look down to Satan. I would like to thank Satan that my conscience is plaguing me. I have a sexually transmitted disease. I can't have babies. I mean, go down the list. And I've had to go to a rehab to get out of drug use or alcohol, whatever. Who stands up and says that? What you do hear is people saying, I wish I wouldn't have done this. I wish I had never done that. I wish I had not started down this path. I wish that I had saved myself for my spouse. That's what you hear people saying. So we need to not be afraid to talk to our kids in such a way that maybe some of them will come up through the ranks, keeping their faith in Christ intact, like the Black Tim Tebow, Prince Amukamara. And maybe they, in turn, will help turn this ship around so that we glorify and we have role models as people who are doing the right thing instead of glorifying people who are debauched. God bless you.